Every sprint planning presents us with new learnings and lessons. So one must ensure these lessons are incorporated to make the upcoming sprint planning events more successful or to have better experience. So welcome everyone to our Benzene video sessions. And today I'm here to talk about how to conduct sprint planning effectively. So let's begin with the prerequisites. As part of the refinement meeting or event, the product owner must load the sprint backlog with the work items or user stories that are planned for the upcoming sprint. The development team, in turn, must seek all clarity on the user stories and figure out the size of the stories for the upcoming sprint. So, as part of prerequisite, the sprint backlog is organized with user stories and prioritized and estimated by the product owner. Now, once this is in place, we're all set to start sprint planning on day one. Now, it all begins with seeking clarity. So, development team members take up each of the work items or the user stories and ask questions to gain complete clarity on what they're going to work upon. Before that, the product owner would have defined set of sprint goals, which are nothing but some set of user stories that make up the sprint goal. So product owner ensures these user stories are aligned with the sprint goal set by him or her. Once the development team is all clear on the user stories or work items to be undertaken, they start estimating the user stories to figure out their size or re-estimate the stories once they had more clarity after the discussions with the product owner. By doing so, the development team is in position to commit to what work items or user stories they are planning to deliver during the current or the next sprint. The development team then goes about assigning the user stories to themselves by pulling them into their bucket. They take up the user stories and then start working upon the technical activities that go into developing them. So they go into an exercise of doing a task breakdown, which means they list out all the activities like building, coding, probably integration, code review, testing as part of task breakdown. Now, this exercise helps the development team members to figure out any dependencies, internal or external, and to plan effectively. Also, if there is any particular sequence in which the user stories have to be taken up, that will also be helpful by doing this task breakdown activity. Now, once that is done, the development team figures out the capacity. Now, the Scrum Master must consider the average velocity, must take into account the planned leaves of the development team members for that sprint duration, and also if there are any public holidays. Now, based on these two parameters, the sprint capacity is identified and the sprint backlog is loaded with user stories based on the average velocity from the past sprints. Once this is done, the development team has to provide confidence of delivering these stories based on what they pulled up and based on their capacity they have for themselves. Now, this voting is done from a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, and anything lesser than 4 or 3.5, I would say 4, would need more probing, more replanning, so that the team is confident enough to say, yeah, or to give a vote of 4 or 5. This vote of confidence is the last activity of the sprint planning. Now, once that is done, the Scrum Master starts the sprint. Now, these are a set of activities that have to be performed in every sprint planning religiously. Now, if you found this video useful and informative, please follow us on our YouTube channel and also subscribe to us. Follow us for more such information on benzene.com. Thank you for watching.